So this is not a strike all amendment.
No, no, this is just, so Bradley Showman, Office of Legislative Counsel. So this is the Senate amendment. So they accepted H 941 but amended to strike out section 5 in its entirety and then renumbering the remaining sections to be numerically correct. And then the Senate concurred in the rest of the bill.
Okay.
So section 5 is a study.
Section 5 is the study. Okay, so was there section 6, which 6 was the effective date?
Yeah, the effective date.
So that's renumbering the remaining section.
And it will be section
5.
Yep.
Okay, all right.
What did that study committee do? What all was in there?
It was studying raising, feeding, and managing of livestock on less than 4 acres, and how to make the determination if there is a sufficient land base for appropriate nutrient and waste management, and how to deal with conflicts between landowners in densely populated places, and determining how municipality could potentially address those concerns with like maybe a model bylaw or something.
There's nothing that would keep the agency from doing that anyway.
Yeah, and it wasn't the Agency of Agriculture that was running the study. It was
AOB.
Yep. And but they can continue to study. The advocates can certainly continue to meet on their own without that direction from the legislature. I think the Senate did on the floor mention that they took issue about lack of representation from farmers or farm groups in the study. But this was their proposal.
And they kept in 12 chickens.
12 chickens.
No ratites.
No ratites, 12 chickens.
Rabbits.
No other changes to the bill. So,
Okay, good. So Bradley, I know that you're trying to juggle lots of other amendments between now and the end of the day. So if we don't have any other questions for Bradley, if people are clear on what the proposal is here, maybe we could let Bradley go.
I don't know, it's pretty complicated. I'll try to grasp it, but
Okay,
Thank you, Brad.
and we can, if we need to have it back up on the screen, we can have Patricia put it up.
Need to vote on it right now or no?
Yeah.
Well, we'll let Bradley go.
Okay.
We don't need Bradley here for the vote. But I did want to give people a chance we can have a chance for discussion, and then we should probably have a straw poll while we're all here. And yeah, so.
That study group was in the original language of the bill.
thank you.
But added.
It was in, thank you, Bradley.
Thanks, Brad.
There was a study group in the original language. The Senate cut it.
Yep.
And then we put it back in a different form.
That's when it changed a little bit.
Yeah, and then so this is the fourth.
They really don't like it.
Now they've proposed cutting it.
We're done fighting over this. Yeah, the Senate cut it. The Senate took out all our recommendations on fowl and then they added in the swine waste language.
they had a small flock.
And they called it a small flock and we had to,
Backyard flock.
and it should have been 100 pounds, but we settled on 12. Because that's what a carton of eggs hold. So, the only thing they did from what we did was took out section 5.
Yeah, so I know that the study is important to the farm groups, or at least some of the farm groups, and I think that there would be value in having that be formalized. But I would say yes, it's possible that they could continue meeting without having it be in statute if they all agree to. And from just a purely practical standpoint, at this point, given that the Senate seems determined not to have a study group in here, I would be inclined to say, let's take what we got, which was actually quite a bit. It's
Are you looking for motion?
No, I think I don't want to cut off conversation, so.
I'm pleased the Senate didn't ask for a conference committee. I'm really concerned that I'm thinking of some of the discussion on the floor earlier about how we might be able to get to a better place, but we don't have time and we can't lose this. This is so important for farmers. Like I've said before, we can fix, we may not get it right the first time. We can come back and fix it and adjust as we need to next year if we have to.
Thank you for that, John. I agree. And the LAOB and excuse me, the LAOB and rural Vermont and NOFA and the leagues of cities and towns, they can meet and do their meetings, and they all come back and report to us next year anyway. So if they have meetings, they can come back, just tell us what they found.
And, you know, we can certainly, I wouldn't be surprised if there's some, you know, interest in legislation as a result of whatever.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Yeah, you know, Jeff.
Can the agency sort of assign, say, one employee to go to meetings like that, even though it's not in statute? I mean, there's freedom enough at, say, AAFM to say like, send.
You know, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know
I would
either.
think that if the meeting was public meeting and they wanted to do that, they would have the flexibility to do
Right,
that.
yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know. Great.
Same. Everybody else, you gotta think it's that, so. Down the wire. I'm a yes on it, and I gotta go back to.
Okay.
So, yes.
Your official yes.
Officially, yes.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Thank you. And I will struggle with everybody else here. Let's do that. Yeah. You had a show of hands earlier that was good enough, I think, because everybody, so this is concurring with the Senate proposal of amendment.
8-0.
And I, 701, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So that's-
And I will report that. I just did want to say, because we've reached hopefully the end of a long, very interesting, kind of fascinating discussion. And it does feel like we arrived at a place that, I mean, I know not everybody's delighted with it, and no one got everything that they wanted. But I think that we will have set up a new right to food that includes vegetables and includes 12 chickens, and the possibility for, just as many poultry or even more of those numbers in towns that currently don't allow that. So I think that's something not to sneeze at. And we mostly solved the underlying issue too here by saying, to the court, it is the case that you can't regulate farming
Tapestry.
with the limitations that we've included.
On that point, from the Supreme Court decision to this, like, what in our language said, no, you actually don't have it right? Because it existed before as an exemption, or was it weirdly silent on that?
The language that, I'm not sure that I'm following your question, John, but
What are we changing in statute that didn't exist before that
As far as-
eventually overrides the Supreme
Yeah.
Court's ruling?
Yeah, so I think it's pretty much I don't have it pulled up here, but it's a single line that says farms that are, regulated by the RAPS are,
Indeed exempt.
yes, are exempt from municipal
That
regulation.
didn't exist before?
No,
Oh, okay.
yeah, it said,
Or it gave them up.
the wording was slightly different. It was different enough that it was open
Where's-
to some interpretation, yeah.
According to Ledge Council, this has a much better chance of standing up.
Yes, I think that this is, and there's intent language that goes on
Okay.
for some length to say, this is what we're talking about.
Okay, good.
All right, well, good. Let's be, let's feel like we got something done, but, there may be more work to do, and come back next year if that's the case. Good. I think we should go down to the floor. We're gonna have a short floor and then we're gonna come back. Patricia, if you could invite Ellen to go through, 924, which is
Jed.
932, which is Jed's bill. Yeah. Yeah.
And then we're still waiting on